In today's video, let's talk about what you do when you've sold a house to someone. The buyer comes back after the fact with just a crazy list of stuff that they want you to pay for. If you're new to the channel, my name is Ryan Dossey, and I fix and flip houses, wholesale, I own rentals, subdivide. Basically, if it's been like smaller real estate, like below 25 units, I've probably done it all with the exception of like new construction. I feel like often the influencers kind of paint this like rose-colored glasses view of what it's like flipping houses. Like you buy it low, you do a little bit of rehab, you sell it and make all this money, and there's never any problems or drama. And as I'm about to show you, that is not always the case. So quick little backstory on this property. I've done a full case study on this sucker, how we found it, how we funded it, what work we did to it, as well as how much profit we made that I will link to above. Spoiler alert, probably one of my favorite videos I've done, and I think we made right at like 74K on that deal. So right after we sold this house, we started to have problems. So we got an email from the realtor that was like, hey, the buyers noticed this laundry list of stuff that they expect you to just do and fix. Now, right off the bat, I stand behind the work that we did. So if we touched something and it no longer works or there's an issue with it, hey, we're going to step up and eat that cost, fix it, make it right, even if it's not really our responsibility. The way I look at it, like I'm going to be in this business for a long time. I'm going to be in these communities that I'm in, and I don't want to get the reputation of being somebody that just like lipsticks a pig, doesn't really fix problems. So if it's something that we touched, we'll stand behind and like warranty that work, even though we're not required to. Now, let's assume that it's not items you touched or it's just like crazy requests, right? Sometimes you kind of have to weigh this. Like if it's, hey, the door's squeaky, can you come like WD-40 it? Cool. If it's like, hey, I want 50 things fixed, not so much. So anytime you buy or sell a house, your realtor, their realtor, and the title company are going to have you sign a set of documents. Typically, the property is going to be inspected. There's going to be issues or things that are found. The buyer will then come back and say, hey, fix all of this. Or, hey, I just want these couple things fixed. You can go back and say, hey, this is what I'm willing to do, take it or leave it. And that was kind of the situation here. The seller had a pretty long list of random things that they wanted done that I'm just going to go ahead and share with you. Now, before I show this to you, I do want to be super clear. So we got the property inspected prior to buying it. Did a massive remodel. I forget, but off the top of my head, it was like $50,000+. We gave that initial inspection to the buyer. Like, hey, this is what we started with. You can get another inspection done if you want. They went and got another inspection done. So they had not one, but two inspections done on this property before our work and after it to make their decisions. So the first thing that the buyer requested was a home warranty. Pretty standard, right? Pretty often that people ask for those. I'm personally not a huge fan of them because I used to sell warranties and I know they're kind of a scam. Like it's pretty hard to get them to actually pay out on things in my experience. They wanted the fire damper repaired or replaced. There was damages to a sill plate that they wanted fixed. They wanted an additional railing in the basement for going down the stairs. They wanted a GFCI outlet in the basement to connect to the sump pump. They wanted a new sump pump, even though the current one was functioning. They wanted insulation secured in the basement. I'm not sure what that was off the top of my head. There were some loose wires or junction boxes that they wanted redone. They wanted the basement bathroom floor to be repaired or replaced. They wanted a window repaired or replaced. They wanted some siding stuff addressed, proper flashing. They wanted 2 exterior receptacles redone, bedroom closet door attached properly, GFCI outlets that were painted, redone. They wanted a new roof, and they wanted us to reinforce the deck railings. Now, a lot of that stuff is pretty nitpicky, not that big of a deal. So things like the electrical stuff we touched up on, things that were painted over, right? We went and did. But the big thing was She wanted the entire electrical system brought up to code, which typically isn't what you do when you're flipping houses. You work with what's existing and make updates as necessary. The property was up to code for when it was built. It's not like it had knob and tube wiring or anything crazy. So what we ended up deciding to do was, hey, we'll put a roof on. We'll fix kind of these random nitpicky things, and we'll split the cost of that roof by raising the purchase price. I think it was like $4,000. She was happy with it. We were happy with it. We did all the work, closed on the property, got paid, and then get this email from the realtor. Basically started out, hey, seller had a electrician out, and here's like $9,000 worth of electrical stuff that needs to be done. I'll just go ahead and forward you the bill. No, it's not how this works. We already went through the condition of the property twice, agreed to what needed to be done, fixed it, gave a home warranty. Like, it's your house. If these were things we'd touched, by all means, we'd fix it, but we're not just doing stuff after the fact for fun. So fast forward a couple weeks and we get a demand letter from an attorney. If you're not familiar with a demand letter, it's basically they go to somebody and say, hey, I want this stuff done. The attorney sends a scary looking like, hey, we're going to sue you if this stuff isn't done. And it was effectively, they wanted all this electrical work done. On top of that, they claimed that the oven/microwave like built-in combo didn't work. So they returned it back to the store and we owed them $3,000. Keep in mind, we had no knowledge that this was like returned, let alone where, right? And they also claimed that we'd never even ran power to it. It just didn't work. Super, super weird demand letter. So the first thing we do is we call the electrician and we're like, hey, we got sent this bid claiming the property needs all these repairs. Did you do any of this work? Because they were asking for reimbursement. And the guy says, no, I didn't do any of that work. Also, it doesn't even need most of that. She literally just asked me to go on and add random things of anything and everything that could be done. What would it be and what would it cost you guys? Stellar, not sketchy at all. So he was like, these aren't even needed repairs. They're more like upgrades. Well, that's not going to happen. In investigating the oven issue, she literally took it out, took it back to Home Depot, said this was bought here. It doesn't work. I don't want it. It's returned, and just left. So we ended up finding out it was on the pro account as a refund for the GC that had done the place. Mind you, GC that did this deal does like tens of millions of dollars worth of construction. So they didn't notice this little $3,000 remodel that got put back on their Home Depot account. So our reply to the demand letter was super simple. Like, you bought the home and accepted its condition. Here's all the documents, all the back and forth. You had the inspections. By all means, we'll give you back your $3,000, but that's it. And if you want that $3,000 back, you're going to sign this release stating you'll never come back to us asking or demanding anything ever again. Basically, like, we're done with you. You're done with us. So all in all, like, just kind of more annoying, right? Like, you're done with the deal. You think it's behind you. You get this scary notice like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So A, look back at your contracts, look back at your paperwork. B, investigate all the claims, right? If we'd been like, oh my gosh, the electrical system really was defective and just offered to cut a check, the guy hadn't even done any of the work and didn't even believe that it needed to be done. And finally, have your own attorney review all of this stuff. Small business owners tend to like try to play attorney, and that's not in your best interest. It's always worth the cost of, $100, $200 an hour to have somebody that does this for a living dot the I's and cross the T's to make sure that you're covered. People always say, like, if you're in business, you're going to get sued. It's just a matter of time. I think this is the second demand letter I've ever got in my entire career. I had one in the past where somebody went under contract with us and then wanted out. But that's it. So I guess I'm officially in business. One thing to note, if you do get a demand letter, you're not being sued. It's more like the first kind of shot across the bow. So hopefully you don't run into a situation like this, but if you do, it's how we handle it. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with us. My name is Ryan Dossey. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you next time.